Hello. You can hear me. Wow, I'm mic'd up. Hi, everyone. I'm Jen Walsh-Fisher, the Director of Partner for Amazon Connect. And with me today is Mike Wallace, who's a Senior Manager, Productivity Apps Solution Architects team. And I'm super jazzed that we also have Penina Kessler, who is the Senior Software Engineer with the New York Times. So today, we're going to talk about how customer experience can be improved with Omnichannel. World events have really forced companies to rethink and reshape their communication strategies to be digital first. So we're going to discuss this today. So for starters, the contact center has continued to evolve. It's going to continuously evolve, and the cloud has really accelerated that rate of change. Additionally, companies who are customer-centric and really put their customers first, especially evolving the ways for which they communicate, are rewarded with brand loyalty, increased revenues, and brand reputation. So it's super, super, super important. And every day we see businesses, we have customers at AWS and Amazon Connect innovating in this area. So what are customers expecting today? You see them here up on the slide. For starters, customers expect to communicate with your company and their brand on the device of their choice, on the channel of their choice, and having a consistent message across that. Second, they're really seeking better self-service options. And third, they're really also expecting frictionless experiences to, personalize and proactive experiences as they interact with your brand. So why should this matter to your organization? Well, now more than ever, it's through customer experience that companies can sustain differentiation and a competitive advantage. And CEOs state overwhelmingly that through any other means of their business, customer experience is the most effective method for creating a competitive advantage. And it's easy to see why when you look at the comparison here of CX leaders versus CX laggers. And CEOs also know that 69% of consumers who trust a brand will remain loyal to that brand even if competitors have better reviews. That's super, super important. And we know that CX leaders know they need to consistently and continuously innovate the customer experience. And we have AWS customers like Nike, Lyft, and Formula One who are continuously investing and inventing their customer experience, or I should say, shopper experience, rider experience, and immersive fan experiences. And it's also why Amazon Connect customers like Intuit, Delta Airlines, StubHub, Traeger Grills trust Amazon Connect to continuously invent their customer experience as well. So we've seen this a lot with our customers just continuously innovating. So Amazon Connect, the easy-to-use omnichannel cloud contact center. Some of you may recall that we launched in March of 2017. Really at the beginning, this was all about Amazon.com's retail customer service needing technology to scale and grow to meet our needs. And since our launch, we've continuously invested and, it's amazing. So what does that give you? Well, this slide shows a few things here, but I'm going to specifically call out three. First is the self-service options, right? So you create your instance, you get immediate access to features, you can experiment with those at the free tier, and we know we have customers like Intuit. Within their first 6 months, they were able to perform over 100 experiments. I mean, pause for that, right? Huge. UK Post Office went from ideation to finished product in 3 weeks. And we also have many customers who deployed workloads to Amazon Connect in less than 24 hours. So the speed of innovation is huge. The next thing I want to call out is automated experiences. So Connect leverages AWS AI services, allowing contact centers to really get to use the natural language processing, text-to-speech, creating experiences similar to how people interact with Alexa every day. Hopefully nobody has their device on and she's going to say, "Can I help you?" Probably say, "What is CCaaS?" Anyway, across the voice and chat and text experiences. So this is huge. The last thing I want to call out on this slide is along the bottom, right? To me and to our team, this is a huge differentiator. The pay-as-you-go model is huge. No monthly commitments, no long-term, you don't have to pay for based on agency count or what it's at peak. And I should say, you pay for what you use plus associated telephony and messaging charges. But this is huge. Forrester Research reports that this is a hard cost savings of 30% for Amazon Connect customers compared to other solution providers. And some of our customers have reported up to saving 80%, which is just huge. All right, so Connect has experienced tremendous growth. In fact, I absolutely love this point. We are one of the fastest growing services in AWS history. Now, as a member of the team, that just really excites me, and that momentum's not stopping. Customers like Dow Jones, Delta Airlines, the New York Times, who's with us today, love that they can move like the agility of a startup, making changes in minutes, not months, and scaling. They love that. And then smaller organizations that you can see here, like Affirm, Square, Spokia, Slice Pizza, for those who love pizza, love that they get an enterprise-grade contact center at startup prices. So I really want to just take a moment because, wow, we're here physically together at reInvent. I want to take a moment to thank our customers. We have contact center leaders and supervisors and agents, all of you trusting Connect to help transform and adapt your experiences through this really challenging time. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Our team is super excited about that. I also want to thank some of the partners in the room, and I know some of you are here, and thank you for continuously investing in innovating customer experience as well. Okay, so many of our customers have moved to digital-first experiences, usually because they either have a customer-centric or customer-obsessed approach, or they were forced to in this last year because of the challenges we were all faced. And when we think of the omnichannel experience, we see three key areas of innovation, which you see here on the slide. First, chat, social, and adoption of business messaging, and expanded convenience and more frictionless experiences. Second, more intelligent self-service using conversational technologies for chatbots and virtual assistants. And third, outbound communications, making it easier to communicate with your customers. So we're going to take a look at each of these in turn. Okay, so first, in the last 5 years, digital engagement has seen explosive growth. There's a few stats here that I want to share that I find pretty mind-blowing. In July 2021, the trade association CTIA reported that over 2.2 billion, I almost said million, I'm like, that's not big enough. 2.2 billion SMS messages were sent in 2020 in the US alone. Like, pause for dramatic effect, right? I mean, wow. Additionally, business messaging and social apps like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, they have 4.5 billion users combined. I feel like that should be trillion, but maybe not. It's billion. And so what we're also finding is that the studies also show that of those messaging app users, 56% say that they regularly communicate with their favorite brands throughout their buyer journey on these apps. So really, really important. Okay, so Amazon Connect Chat has quickly become a foundational means for many of our customers' digital transformations. And as you see here on the slide, Amazon Connect Chat makes it easy for you to deliver a digital customer experience by providing unified, omni-channel tools and capabilities. You build once, incorporate self-service with synchronous messaging, asynchronous messaging, and increase agency efficiency using our open platform. So now I'd like to invite Penina Kessler up to the stage to talk about the New York Times experience. AWS continues to collaborate with the New York Times as they're going through a technology and engineering company-wide experience here, transformation. Penina, could I offer you to the stage? There's the clicker.
Thank you so much, Jen, for that introduction. I'm so excited to be here today, not to introduce myself, but to introduce you all to my team, the customer care team at the New York Times. At the Times, our agents handle millions of interactions yearly, where chat comprises about 30% of those interactions. But as the Times continues to be a digital-first, digitally focused company, our chat volume has only increased. Today, I'm going to tell you about how my team built a production chat pilot in 30 days using Amazon Connect, and what that means for customer care's mission to provide optimized, effortless solutions that meet our readers where they are, on web, on mobile, or over the phone. In customer care, our mission is to provide effortless solutions that neutralize problems and allow our customers to get back to reading the styles section or playing the crossword. I haven't done today's yet, don't spoil me. And the good thing about customer care is it's not really a niche industry, so there are lots of great solutions out there to help you provide the world-class customer experience that you want. This, however, creates its own conundrum. You want to make sure that you have the autonomy and control that comes from building things yourself and owning your pipelines, but you also don't want to reinvent the wheel, no pun intended, if there's a good vendor solution available. Prior to March of this year, our chat experience had been hosted by one of those third-party vendors. It was a good solution and low effort to our team, but there were lots of features that we wanted to build that were either too time-consuming or just straight up impossible. So we did what we do best. We assembled a cross-functional team to examine the problem. Our product owners and designers wrote user stories from every perspective, from readers to agents, from engineers to business stakeholders. And we realized that for the features we needed, Amazon Connect was the optimal bridge between building something ourselves and buying a vendor solution. With Connect, we got lots of important functionality out of the box, which meant that we could focus on leveraging the engineering and design talent that we already have. Shout out to my amazing teammates, some of whom are here today, to create something that was seamless for both our agents and our readers. We also knew that rebuilding our chat platform would be a huge project, and we wanted to validate that we'd made the right decision. We knew that the best place to prove anything is, of course, in production. So we decided to simultaneously run both our vendor solution and Amazon Connect Chat in prod. We started small, thankfully. We routed 3% of traffic to our pilot by launching Amazon Connect in a particular entry point. We figured that if we did it right, none of our readers would or should ever know that anything had changed. This is the part that I get really excited to tell you all about as an engineer, what we actually built and how we built it. Our biggest development effort was in our reader-facing UI. We used an open source React library that Amazon had provided, and other than changing some of the styles on the components, sorry to the AWS teal, we didn't have to do a whole lot. Amazon's Chat.js library handled all of the event listeners for messaging between reader and agent. When we launched, we had 2 or 3 APIs in a Go backend, which utilized the Amazon Connect SDK to initiate the chat session with some metadata about the customer. I will talk a little bit more about why that's important later. Amazon Connect provided a clear and easy-to-use interface for our chat agents and operational teams. Our agents were using the out-of-the-box contact control panel to chat with our customers and set their availability. Our operational teams are able to use Connect to monitor queue metrics and staffing levels without needing engineering assistance. And we could also leverage AWS's real-time queue availability and staffing metrics to create our own feature flag for this project. We queried our AWS instance and found if there were no agents available or if it was outside of the hours that we were maintaining staffing for the pilot. In those cases, we would fall back to the third-party vendor-based solution. This was especially critical because, again, we wanted to ensure that there would be zero customer impact while we rolled out Amazon Connect. We launched with just this architecture in place. It took one sprint to build, one sprint to refine. But we were quickly able to layer on other functionality that had long been on our wish list, but was too difficult to build in a third-party solution. Some of this functionality was chat customer identification and allowing customers to access their chat transcript. Identification was huge for us. I know earlier I had mentioned that we sent a little bit of metadata to the back end. So that was actually the session set by our account portal, and we could use that to securely authenticate our customers and allow our agents to pull up that account in the back end. This saved us time, and we theorized would reduce time to resolution and customer effort. Spoiler, it did, in fact, reduce customer effort. But before I talk about the metrics on this slide and what we use to validate our pilot, I want to talk a little bit about what those metrics are and why they're so important to us in customer care at the New York Times. Our North Star metric is measured customer effort, which is a rating our customers give us as to how easy it was for them to solve their problem. Industry research, as well as our own research, show that customer effort leads to higher loyalty, retention, and engagement. That readers who find it easy to solve problems with their accounts stay readers. So when we were able to see a sustained 8% improvement in measured customer effort with our Amazon Connect chat experience, we knew we had invested in the right solution. As we ramped up use of our Amazon Connect pilot, increasing the percentage of customers we routed to Connect until we reached 100% of our traffic, we consistently saw that 8% increase. We were shocked until we went back and looked at the metrics from when we introduced Amazon Connect Voice back in 2019 and realized that switching to Amazon Connect then had reduced customer effort by, you guessed it, 8%. And because we were using Amazon Connect for our voice channel already, we could leverage our existing analytics pipeline. We use EventBridge and machine learning to tag our chat interactions and are beginning to generate powerful insights as to why our customers are contacting us. Amazon Connect made all of this possible. We found that, especially as a development team, Amazon was just really easy to work with. And every step of the way, there was amazing customer support and documentation. Additionally, instead of having to enter into a new multi-year contract with a vendor, we had the flexibility of just paying the cost of what we were using. So, what's next? Our team is always thinking about how we can improve in our mission to reduce customer effort. To this end, we're focusing on building targeted automations to our most commonly seen issues using Amazon Lex, taking that same incremental approach we did for chat to ensure that we're building smart, empathetic bots that people actually want to talk to. We also understand that sometimes you just want to talk to someone who can solve your problem. So we're investing in smarter routing, connecting readers to the agents who are best equipped to solve the particular issue they're contacting us about. As a development team, we're working on an effort to build our contact flows, those step-by-step guides that connect our agents, Lambda architecture, and readers programmatically. Doing so reduces the capacity for errors and improves resiliency. We're excited by the possibility of doing things like adding inline comments, testing our contact flows in the CI/CD pipeline, reusing blocks across different flows. This project, to me, embodies the spirit of our team's collaboration with Amazon Connect, building on top of simple, powerful technologies to unlock a world of capabilities. Thank you to Jen and the Amazon Connect team for allowing us to share our story today. I'm looking forward to seeing what we can continue to build together.
Super awesome. Super, super, super duper. Oh, I didn't know my mic was on there. I really didn't, honestly. But I was like smiling over there going, super duper, I love it. And she's also a fabulous person. So thank you so much for sharing that story. It's been absolutely awesome. Okay, so before we talk about recent chat feature releases, I want to mention beyond native web chat integration with Connect, we also provide support for Apple Business Chat for those customers who have end customers who like to use iOS. So check out this screenshot here. So your customers, when they're using Maps, Safari, or Search, you can enable, that can be enabled by simply tapping the messages icon there, you'll see, actually. Hopefully you can see it good there. And you can also allow your users to chat instead of call using Chat Suggest. I love that I see people nodding heads, actually. That's absolutely awesome. So why is this great? Why should you care, right? Well, for starters, it's an affordable way to move calls, move contacts from voice to chat, and you as a company can benefit from the agent to customer concurrency ratios, which saves you money. Another great thing from an agent point of view is there's no difference between handling an Apple Business Chat versus a chat versus voice, so it's all within that same experience. And finally, if it's not obvious already, it's just a great thing to offer for your customers who love using their Apple device and the way they interact, so it's super great. Okay, earlier this month, we announced the availability of the new messaging streaming APIs for Amazon Connect that allows you to create customized experiences by enabling you to subscribe to real-time streams of chat messages. So there's several reasons why this is, frankly, super awesome. One, nearly every person in the world has a mobile device. Does anybody here not have a mobile device? Okay. Also, within 98% of text messages are read within 90 seconds. That's pretty powerful. And then third, consumers prefer texting via SMS and other digital channels as it provides them the convenience and flexibility of getting support on the go instead of having to wait, right, either on hold or connected to a web, a chat on the web, on a web chat session. So using these APIs, you can integrate Connect Chat with SMS solutions and third-party messaging applications like Facebook Messenger, Twitter, and Line. You can enable mobile push notifications and then create analytics dashboards to monitor and track chat messaging activity. And messages are published via Amazon SNS, and you can easily set that up by going to the SNS console and clicking through that and creating a special SNS topic. So this is just a really powerful way to reduce inbound calls by deflecting them to more lower cost messaging channels. Okay, so now I'm going to bring my buddy Mike Wallace to the stage to talk about the second key area of innovation we're seeing around intelligent self-service options. Here you go, Mike.
No mic? Yes, Mike. Mike has a mic. Yay, mics everywhere. So with the advent of recent world events, we've seen a lot of changes, like Jen mentioned about the contact center. And even before that, we were starting to talk about what to do about self-service, right? What's the most expensive thing in the call center? People, right? So how do we maximize the use of our agent population? We take away those low-effort, high-volume transactions that really you shouldn't be using agents for, right? Things like password resets. Can we automate that? Order status, can we automate that? All those things that we don't really want people to have to do. So how do we make that more intelligent? You know, artificial intelligence, machine learning has come a long way, and I apologize. My Vegas voice is in full effect after 4 days of this. I'm starting to get a little hoarse. With intelligent self-service, we're looking at, we're looking for customer service continue to be business critical for our customers. How do we keep that moving ahead? Issues like excessively long wait times, have gotten considerably worse. If you had to call an airline during the early days of COVID or a hotel reservation line, some of the wait times were 5, 6, 7 hours, right? And people are calling for simple things. I need to cancel a reservation, but there was no automation in place to take care of these. How do we do that? So companies really started rethinking that concept. And we're looking at customers who are more accepting of digital-first customer experiences, right? So the demographic has changed a lot. People used to be less accepting of automated experiences, and today we're just not. I know for myself personally, and I wouldn't consider myself a young kid, but I am very accepting of a digital experience where I get my answer very quickly from a bot. It's right, it's accurate, and I'm done. I didn't have to wait in queue. I didn't have to spend 20 minutes even waiting for a callback. It's just done. I got what I needed and I'm out. Now, a good digital customer experience will allow you to continue that conversation if you want. And one of the great things about omnichannel that is really important to consider is contextual awareness across channels, right? I started my conversation on an SMS, on Facebook Messenger. And maybe I am old because I still use Facebook Messenger, but that's okay. So we start on Facebook Messenger, we start that conversation with the bot. Now I want to talk to somebody. Message with somebody. So we keep that conversation going, and I ask to be transferred to an agent. Now, worst customer experience possible is I get to that agent and they say, "Why are you calling?" Well, I already told you why I'm calling, right? Whether it's voice or message platform, we shouldn't have to repeat ourselves, right? Nothing worse than that. So how do we keep that from happening? Well, we pass all that context from the digital channel, and honestly, we can do that with voice now, right? How many people are familiar with Contact Lens? Has anyone played with it? So Contact Lens is our AI/ML-powered voice transcription engine, and then it applies AI/ML learning to do a lot of nifty things. I'm not going to get deep into it, but one of the things we can do with the API is take the real-time transcript and pass it agent to agent to agent to agent, so we know what's been going on. We already know if somebody's authenticated. We don't have to repeat all our authentication information. We can also take bots that we've talked to, pass that entire transcript into the chat window, regardless of channel, right? It's the same chat interface that your users are using for the Amazon chat that you're doing now. And then when you plug in SMS, Messenger, Line, whatever, WhatsApp, WeChat, blah, 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 it's the same user interface, and there's just no difference. So, just as ubiquitous as text, like Jen was talking, people send, 2.2 billion text messages, some ridiculous number like that. I think my daughter's responsible for many of those. They want those excellent self-service options to care for routine tasks. We already talked about a bunch of those. And, Connect and Lex machine learning really helps there. Lex has come a long way in the machine learning capacities to handle many different languages, more being added all the time. We've changed versions of Lex recently to add a lot new features to it. And we actually are going to talk about a really cool one that we just announced. And like Jen was talking about, being able to use that same user experience with Lex and channels across any channel you want to integrate. You create one Lex bot, you create it in one place, and then regardless of the channel you want to use, you get that same user experience repeatedly, right? So whether I'm using SMS, Messenger, doesn't matter, I'm going to get that same Lex experience, right? So as a consumer, I like my experience consistent. The reason I come back to certain companies is because they have excellent customer experience. I like companies that like me. I don't even care if I have to spend a little bit more money with them to get the experience I want. Might be able to get something cheaper elsewhere, but I want the experience. There's companies that are very, very good at this. There's companies that really put a huge emphasis on this. I would say I work for one. We put a lot of attention into our customer experience on the retail side. So I'm going to do a demo. No good demo goes unpunished, right? So we're going to actually show some of this, and I'm going to ask for a victim in the audience shortly here, so give me a moment here while I do some switching. And while I'm doing this, I am going to set the table a little bit. So there's this dog. This dog's name is Fergus. Fergus has a Facebook page. Fergus has a Facebook page because my Facebook page should not be shown in a large forum like this. So Fergus has a Facebook page, and Fergus has an issue with one of his dog toys, and he's filed an insurance claim. So Fergus is going to be looking at his insurance claim on his dog toy. Did we get a switch there? Crickets. Who's got the Crickets app going? That's not funny. Yes, it was. So Fergus's Facebook page is there on the left, or left? Yes, left. My right, your left. Exit stage right. So Fergus is going to look for the company that he wants to talk to. It's called Any Company Something. And we weren't really creative with the naming convention there. So if you're curious, Fergus is an Irish Wolfhound. He's about that tall. So his favorite game is to walk up to whatever food we've left out in the kitchen and take it. And we can't stop him because he's taller than the kitchen counters. So I'm just going to start Messenger here, and I'm going to look real quick for a search for a company, and there's AnyConnect right up on top. And you can see I've talked with them before, but I'm just going to say hi. So now what I'm going to get back is a response from Lex. Like I said, no good demo goes unpunished. Come on, network. There we go. Thank you for contacting. How can I help you? And I'm just going to say claim status. And then we'll get the idea, what's your claim number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Creative numbering there too. So now we got information about the claim status, right? Give me all the information I wanted to know about my claim, the payment's in process, everything's good. But it says, hey, do you need any more help? Yes. Okay, I just want to talk to somebody. So now you can see my agent over here is in doggy playtime, so I'm actually going to go to available. And I'm waiting for a new task to come in. And I'm waiting for a new, my only concern here is someone else is logged in and getting my task. There it is. So now we see an incoming task coming in from Facebook. So I'm going to accept that. And you'll see that I have all the transcript of that message I just had. So now I'm talking, I can say, hi, Fergus. And we'll see it pop up in Facebook, right? So that's just Messenger going back and forth. And this is using that message stream APIs. Now, who wants to be a volunteer? Somebody with a mobile phone handy. She pointed at you, so you're stuck with it. Don't you like being voluntold? All I need is one that can text. Can it text? Then that's all it needs. It's not inferior. It would be inferior if it flipped to open. So send me a text to 855-715-2030. And just say hello. And as long as everything happens as expected and we have network coverage, you should get that Any Company Insurance text back that we just saw up there from Messenger. Got it? See, I didn't lie. It works. So go ahead and just type agent. So we're going to bypass the Lexbot here. We don't need to see the Lexbot again, and I will get another contact coming in here. And you can see I've got a new contact coming in. And hey, it's a phone number there. Don't you dare write this phone number down and spam them in the middle of the night. So now I can see that message in from the SMS, right? And because my agent has a number of chat concurrencies set, I can handle more than one message, right? So go ahead, and I'm just going to end the chat. We can talk back and forth. I could say hi and send you a text message. All right, so we'll go ahead and end that, close the contact. So I'm going to switch back to the slides. So hey, my demo didn't go unpunished. It worked. Yay! So things that are cool about that, right? It was the same user experience across channels. Yes, the Lexbot was really simple, but we didn't want to create some 20-minute Lexbot interaction for a demo. But the point is you can connect any of those channels we showed up there and more, right? We're always seeing new channels coming up. Basically, if it's an API-driven messaging platform, it can be a victim, right? We've seen an internal team at Amazon Retail create what's our message? Slack. Like Slack-based messaging interaction with this, where people at Amazon can use Slack to contact our support teams internally for IT support, which is pretty cool, right? Great, great discussion here from the College of Liberal Arts at UT Austin. So COLA basically did this at the time everybody was transitioning to working from home. Common story, right? How many people had to have the panic WFH discussion at the beginning of all the mess, right? We gotta do something. And a lot of people didn't really have the infrastructure or ideas on how to support this. So they deployed a whole new major contact center, and they've had a major positive impact on the student satisfaction. You can read what they said. You know, basically the chatbot's trained to respond to the most common issues the student face, and it has a success rate of about 90%, right? So a 90% containment rate of student-reported issues. That's spectacularly high, way above the industry average. So I have to congratulate the college for doing a really good chatbot design. The bot freed agents up. There's a stat here that says that student wait time dropped from more than 15 minutes to less than 30 seconds, despite call volumes quadrupling. You'd expect the call handling to go up, right? But because they were very successful in their bot development, they were able to just crush that AHT, or average hold time, I should say, not average handle time. Fewer requests getting escalated agents. The agents were able to achieve a 97% reduction in wait time without adding any agents. So they added nobody to it. So that's just amazing statistics that they were able to achieve with really good bot design. Anybody hear about this announcement? Automated Chatbot Designer? I'm not sure I like that acronym, but we'll be okay with that. So one of the interesting things about bot design is how do you do it right? How do you know what your contact center bots actually need to be? Do you have all the information in your contact center to design a bot? And if not, how do you get it? Are we going to go get all the call recordings for the last month, transcribe them, and or have humans sit and listen to them and write it all down? That's the way we used to do it, right? So what Automated Chatbot Designer allows you to do is take historical transcription from Contact Lens natively. So if you're using Contact Lens, you can just feed it. Or you can use other systems. There's a little transformation that needs to happen with the records and transcribe. Feed it into Amazon Lexa's Chatbot Designer, and it will analyze all those transcripts and tell you, what are your callers calling about? What can I automate? What are they saying that would lead me to believe it? So if you're familiar with Lex, we have intents, right? Why are your callers calling? We have slots. What's the information we're collecting to fulfill the intent? And what are the utterances that people are saying? Reset my password. I'm locked out of AD. I can't get into my SSO. Great, you need a password reset bot. Here you go. And it will build the bot for you. Pretty cool, right? And the more information you give it, the more it can go, right? So you can just keep feeding it Contact Lens records every couple of months and say, hey, do anything change? You got any new ideas for me? And just keep creating those bots, right? So poor design of a chatbot can be a really horrible thing for an organization, right? So, you know, the engineer in me says, you know, test until you're happy, whether you test in prod or not, you know, that's, but one of the great things about Connect is we can, you know, we can test in prod by doing percentage routing of contacts through various experience. So we can say, I've got a new bot, I don't know if it's good or not. Let's filter 10% of our interactions through that bot and see how we do. Collect information, do a survey, did our bot, was it great? Did it suck? And then get your information back and tweak accordingly, right? And then you up it, you know, 10%. You know, if you're like me, 10%, 50%, 100%. You might want a little more increment in there, but I'm all about charge ahead. So, and finally, we hear customers expect companies and organizations to make things easier, eliminate steps. You know, servicing, preferred chat messaging, social media. I call it meeting customers where they are. Right? Not that I made that up, it's just the sentence that I like best to describe this. I'm not sure who made it up, but it works for me. You know, servicing over preferred channels and social media apps, it's just a better way to handle critical needs. And, you know, we talked a lot about, you know, intelligent self-service, but the ability for, you know, live agents to meet customers on their preferred channel of choice is super important, right? You know, I like to joke about my daughter and her texting, but, you know, that is her preferred method of interacting when she has to. She unfortunately got in it wasn't a big deal, a very minor fender bender, but it was her first interaction with an insurance company in her life. She's a 20-year-old college student, and somebody hit her, so thankfully it wasn't her fault either. So she had never interacted with an insurance company ever. So, as a dad, I was like, do I handle this for her, being big protective dad, or do I let her adult a little and find out what life is actually like? I chose the latter and said, you need to contact our insurance company. And, so she pulled out her iPhone and found their form for filing a claim, did it all online, chatted with the agent online, never talked to anybody on the phone, did it all, took pictures, uploaded the pictures. And for her, that was a super seamless episode. Personally, I'd have been on the phone. Just me, just how I am. But she really liked that interaction. And, that was really cool for her. I'm glad she had such an easy, I hope she doesn't see that, oh, this is easy, I can get more accidents. But, it was a great way for her to interact with that company. They did an outstanding job. They're not a reference, so we're not gonna talk about them. But they did a really good job of digital channel there that I was really happy with, and they just made it easy for her. So another thing to think about, outbound communications, right? We've talked all about inbound so far, about everybody contacting us. Well, outbound is really important too. How do we notify customers of important things? I talked to medical customers, missed appointments. Super costly, right? That's a huge revenue gap if people miss appointments. In large medical systems, it can go into the millions, tens of millions of dollars in missed appointments. So appointment reminders, right? How do we do that? How do we make that omni-channel experience outbound as well, right? How do we better serve customers throughout their journey with native omni-channel outbound? Utility companies, medical companies, anybody that does appointments, anybody that wants to do notifications, subscription renewals if you're a newspaper per se, something that you want to notify somebody of. We can personalize every customer experience, their entire customer journey throughout any point of their journey. So you see a lot of different journey points there of awareness, consideration, purchase, service, loyalty. At any point in that journey, there may be an appropriate time to reach out. Not wait for your client to contact you, you contact them proactively. Maybe there's something in a sales journey that you can offer that client. Maybe there's an appointment reminder you can ensure that they're going to be there. Anybody make reservations for dinner while they're here and get a text message asking you to press 1 to confirm, right? That way they're making sure their occupancy is where they need it to be. And you should think about that in your contact center as well. When I travel, I like particular hotel brands because I travel enough that I have at least some minimal loyalty. I'm not one of those people that's like double platinum, gold, super secret, gets the suite by rote, but I get free water bottles, which is kind of nice. But they do reach out with special offers. I'll get special offers on stays and things like that, and I like that. It's actually worked for them to force me to spend money because I'm like, ooh, that's a good idea. I'm going to take my wife on vacation. Works for her too. So she's happy, I'm happy, everybody's happy. So outreach in all native channels too. So not just voice, but reaching out across channels is really important. I talk to utility companies who have traditionally, if there's an outage, made phone calls. And to do that in a traditional, especially if it's a premise-based solution, is really heavy lifting. Really heavy lifting. With Amazon Connect, with our new release that we'll get into, it's all software-based, it's all cloud-native, and you just build and go. So, variety of reasons that we already talked about. Telesales, payments, phone calls, and many contact centers, they do this manually, right? They have a list, they dial or contact, super high effort, super inefficient. And, some customers only answer about 10% of their outbound contacts, right? So you're getting a 10% take rate and you're using agent times. Means 9 out of 10 times they dial their phone, they're just wasting time. Nobody's going to answer. So, and can we look at other channels? Should we be offering SMS instead of voice, or maybe in addition to voice? Let people opt into the channel of their choice, meet the customer where they are. So inefficient, fragmented outbound calls, texts, emails running on disparate systems. Right? So you may not even have a blended channel here to do this. You may be using an external service provider, which is really common for email and SMS provisioning, and you may be using your contact center for voice, right? Which means you don't have any real unified method of knowing that alert has happened. You may have to build it on the back end. They can span voice, SMS, email, and an ML-powered solution means agents don't waste time with busy signals, right? The ML-powered answering machine detection will figure out on the other end if someone has actually picked up the phone before they transfer the call to an agent. So we recently announced Amazon Connect High Volume Outbound Communication. It is in preview. If you're familiar with AWS Preview, it just means you have to sign up for it. You can go to the web page that, basically your search engine of choice and type High Volume Outbound Communications and click on Preview. Sign up for it. We will activate it in your system, and you'll be able to use it. So it's an omni-channel list management platform for voice, text, and email. Uses Amazon Pinpoint, which is an Amazon service that was originally developed for outbound communications. We're using that in conjunction with Amazon Connect. Pinpoint has really great list management services built into it, and we take that list management and we augment it with Amazon Connect to now provide the two-way communication capability with Lex and agents. Predictive dialing that throttles outreach based on agent availability. So we look at the agents, we say how many do we have available, what's it look like, how many calls should I throw out at this time based on what I know about my agents and what I know about my take rate historically, right? So now we're not wasting agent time. We're letting the machine make the decision of how many calls to push out, assuming that we're gonna get X number of takes, we need that many, Y number of agents, right? So no thinking about it, let the machine do it for you. Answering machine detection, I love the words answering machine, still makes me giggle. Voicemail detection, but we've called it answering machine detection forever and we're not gonna change now. So, call it whatever you want. Call progress detection, kind of the same thing. So knowing whether somebody's connected at the far end, and then scale to over 1 million contact attempts per campaign per day. So you can go big without having to invest, right? This is all cloud-based. You use what you use and you don't have to use any more or less signed contracts, all the things that Panina was talking about. You have all the availability to experiment with no risk. Great reference here from Relation. They are a outbound notification and patient services provider to medical systems. So medical systems actually use Relation to manage these kinds of things like appointment reminders, prescription refill reminders, et cetera. And Relation was really excited about high volume outbound communications to offer this to their customers. It's kind of a bouncing ball there, follow the bouncing ball. But they can actually use high volume outbound communications to offer a better patient experience for appointment reminders, prescription refills. From them, it's not enough to push patients to a portal and an app. Patient engagement must be designed with the patient at the center, with the patient driving the conversation, right? So, please visit us at our webpage was not working for them, right? Nobody likes that. And I've got to clear my throat, but can you turn the mic down for a moment? Thank you. Excuse me. So they're really excited because it accelerates their availability to maximize these services for their clients. So looking forward to see what people do with this, with Relation and others, to see how they use high volume outbound communications. I can see use cases just thinking about some of the customers in this room, that are going to be relevant with this service. And with that, I'm going to get Jen back up here. So thanks everybody for your time, and she's going to close us out.
Thank you. All right. Okay, so, yep, it's all up there. So, coming to a close here, we covered a lot, I know. I don't know if you needed the evidence about why omnichannel matters, but I'm hoping we provided you a lot of that data to explain why omnichannel and in the customer experience is critically important. So we spoke about how customer expectations and business needs are constantly evolving, requiring us to innovate on behalf of our customers. And 3 things that will not change that I shared in the beginning: the need to focus on convenience, better self-service options, and eliminating complexity, creating fast and frictionless experiences. We talked about how chat, messaging and social media and new capabilities like the messaging streaming APIs are opening doors to new innovation and improved customer outcomes. We heard Panina speak to the New York Times journey and adoption of chat and the great initial results they're seeing on their digital customer care transformation. And the latest Lex Designer capabilities, which I won't call ACD, are eliminating the barriers to creating powerful new conversational chats and voice options, further helping you better improve the self-service options. And finally, we spoke about outbound communications being used to eliminate friction and customer steps and effort in their buyer journey. All right, so for some of you who've attended the other sessions, this slide may look familiar. It's the beautiful story of Connect. And we've covered a lot of ground of why all this matters, and you can see here, omnichannel is just one aspect of the complete customer experience in contact center, and we're continuing to listen and innovate and work with our customers and partners on how to make this easier. We hope that this has inspired a lot of ideas, and we look forward to innovating with you. Okay, but our job is not just to set you off into the free tier and figure it out for yourself, though obviously you can do that if you'd like. There's a lot we can do to support you in your journey. We have professional services and partners, some of which are in the room here today, to help you along your journey. We also have programs to help you on the migration, depending on where you are in your cloud migration or omni-channel experience. And if you're looking to learn from us, whether it's the technology we use in our retail Amazon customer service or best practices, we have tools and experts at the ready to help you with that as well. All right, and I can't finish this without mentioning our partners who continue to work tirelessly with AWS and customers to modernize customer experiences and contact centers. And we really look forward to that collaboration continuing into 2022. And while a big focus of our team is to make it easy to self-serve, we do have wonderful accredited partners listed here like Accenture, Deloitte, Neuroflash, Voice Foundry. I could go on and on. So there's great partners for you to help you in your customer experience journey. There's 3 links up here that I wanted to draw your attention to. The first one is the one you would click to create your Connect instance, actually. Answer a few questions, claim a phone number, get started. I will say when I first joined the team, I think I was able to get it done in less than 10 minutes. My 12-year-old niece could probably do it in 3. Just probably getting to the point of Mike's point there. His 20-year-old daughter could do it faster too. The next link there is the link to all of our blogs. So all the things that we discussed today, you can find that there. And that final link there, more resource and information to help you along your way. I also wanted to ask if you could go to the re:Invent app and complete the survey on this session. Not a surprise, our customer obsession. We'd love to hear from you. What you liked, what you would recommend we improve, because we're constantly wanting to get better at these types of presentations. And we are rounding third and sliding into home with our Connect sessions. This is the last one, and there were a lot of really cool things. So they're going to be on the re:Invent virtual event page. And I think I think it's about the middle of December, you'll see them on the AWS YouTube page. So we highly encourage you to watch them again and again and again and enjoy that.